Hey everyone, I wanted to go over the new and exciting and interesting news that we got for Xenoblade Chronicles, as we recently got a developer interview in the Ask Developer Volume 6 officially posted by Nintendo. And here, the producer for the series, Ko Kojima, was interviewed by Nintendo's Genki Yotoka to basically get some information regarding if Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is basically going to be the last game in the franchise. And the answer is rather interesting for many reasons and implications heading into the future of the franchise, suggesting that they are going to be moving on to do something a little bit different, while still being Xenoblade, not really the same thing anymore. So of course I'm going to be leaving a link in the description below for the actual full interview, but there's two questions that I want to go over which I thought really stand out and give us a really good glimpse as to what to expect heading forward. The question was posed, so this is the third entry in the series, but where does it stand with this series? The response from Takahashi was, this title is the third entry in the Xenoblade Chronicles series, following the Xenoblade Chronicles and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And this is like the culmination of the trilogy. The first entry depicts the main character and his companions living in the world of Bayonetta, the god, utilizing the future-seeing blade, the Monado, to protect the world that they live in to fight for the future. And the second entry depicts the story of a finite and eternal life, in which the main character, who lives in the world of Titans up in the skies, meets the immortal Blade Girl, and they work together to reach paradise. This third entry is the story about 6 young soldiers belonging to 2 hostile nations, set in Ionios, where the worlds of the first and the second title link together. So that's a rather basic and interesting description for all 3 games. In the next question they actually asked, if the setting for this title is linked to the first and second entries, does that mean that the story continues through all 3 titles? And Takahashi responded, no, the stories of 1, 2, and 3 are all standalone. Although some elements and designs from 1 and 2 will appear in the third entry here and there, there's no need to have played the first and 2 games to understand the story and how to play. However, since this is a series of works, the underlying theme is consistent in each case. The story unfolds based on the relationship between foreign things, and also I used the word culmination earlier. But this title brings together all the themes that have been development over the past 15 years since 2007, when the development of the first title of Xenoblade Chronicles series began, as well as gameplay systems that have been developed throughout the series. And to clarify it even further, they mentioned, so by culminating, you don't actually mean that it brings closures to the series, but rather that it rounds out the trilogy thematically. And the response was, yes, that's right. I guess you can say that this is like a summary moving on to the next step in the future. So I guess the biggest takeaway from this is that yes, Xenoblade is still going to continue. They're most likely going to be a Xenoblade, something else afterwards. It most likely will not be having a Xenoblade 4 attached to it, since essentially they are going to be doing something completely different with completely new characters that are not directly connected to these worlds, unless they actually change their mind altogether. Sales wise, this game is most likely going to be the best selling of the entire franchise, and Nintendo might actually just end up Armstrong in them to basically saying like, hey, just continue this, call the next game 4, and continue whatever the story we think you can continue to tell. That could potentially happen, but from what we are seeing here, the developers and specifically the producer for the series is basically saying that they are most likely going to be moving forward to something completely new, while still being Xenoblade, not directly connected to the 3 prior games. I think the only sad thing here is that they don't even mention X at all. They don't really consider that part of the story at all. It really isn't, but it's just sad that, whatever the next thing is most likely not going to be X2 or anything like that. And it seems like that game is just kind of viewed as a failure, to the point that even there is no remastered Switch version or anything like that, not even ported over. They just kind of just left it die on the Wii U, and it's just such a sad thing to see, since that game was so fantastic in its own right. But that's about all the information that I wanted to go over with you guys today. If you are brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.